readiness now for leg 2 of that second last round of the World Superbike Championship. 13 rounds, next round next weekend in New Zealand, and all in readiness. Quite some sensations after that one. Raymond Roche needs only a 10th place or Pirovano to drop out of this race to clinch his first World Championship in Superbikes. Darrell Beattie's Honda, when it was weighed, was 2 kilograms under the minimum weight for the class, although it was correct at the start of the race, so it shed that much in oil and tyre rubber and brake disc material, pad material during the race. They've packed wheel weights in their actual packs all round the bike. Robbie Phillips onto a spare bike. Stefan Mertens protesting against Pirovano for the accident that happened late in the race. 22 laps of Phillip Island, all in readiness, original grid positions. So Mertens, Pirovano, the two contestants together, Bonges on 50, Dowson on 10, and the winner of that first heat, 37, Peter Goddard on the front row of the grid. Phyllis on his spare bike, not quite as good, but he broke a handlebar, he over-revved the engine when it was on the ground, he couldn't get quickly to the cutout. All in readiness, a good steady start, and just starting to move was Mertens, but it didn't do him any good as Pirovano shot away from all of them on 4. But then
got a good start again.
Yes, he did. Phyllis slotting into second place, and the little guy absolutely, totally determined not to make that sort of error again. And let's hope he doesn't. Tremendous fighter and a great racer. He's in the lead.
It's like Robbie might try and do the same thing again here, I think. Try and make a break, but hopefully he won't have the same result on the second lap.
Second Kawasaki's back to 4th place, and Pirovano is second, and Goddard back in 3rd at the moment. I think it's Reimer pressing for 5th. Phyllis, Pirovano, Goddard, so Kawasaki, Yamaha, and Yamaha again. Honda's about 6th, the best Honda. And down with the bike all the way until towards the end there, and we've lost a lot of interest in it. Bike number 9, Suonen from Finland. That's the train driver. One could make amusing comments about what he ought to drive or ride, but in fact he drives a train 2 months of the year and gets the rest of the time to go bike racing, and is a pretty good, honest competitor. Phyllis here doing the job now, and I'm sure if he can get over this first lap or so, don't you think, Mick Doohan?
Yeah, I think so.
Pull it together and really put up a contest, determined to show them he's the man to beat. Goddard's second, Pirovano is 3rd, now Dowson's 4th. Mertens is back in 6th place on his Honda number 2. And in 19 is in close there too, McElnay.
I think Peter will try and pull him back a little bit in the next lap or so. Try not to let him get too far away.
Yes, this is going to be an interesting and close contest. Let's have a look at that fall for Suonen. See right off the track. Give us the action, Mick Doohan. He really dropped it, didn't he, to try and avoid the grass?
Looked like he dropped it before the grass. You know, he just lost the rear end and he's crashed.
Yeah,
he's
that's
up there.
Very accurate summary.
Yeah, that's about what happened.
It was all over. He was out very wide, and in fact that came as he was crashing to the edge of the circuit. He
probably got out there, there's a little bit of rubble or whatever out there, and just kind of lost the rear end.
Yeah. Whenever I've ridden a quick bike on a track, even road bikes, but certainly anything approaching a race bike, and I did years ago ride that oval piston Honda, and it just astonished me, I mean, without going anywhere near as fast as race speeds, as to how quickly you've got to change direction to get
right
from point
on the
to
back.
point.
Goddard's
He is.
Going past him.
On the inside, it's Phyllis. He had the inside run here. He's fending off an outside exit in the corner. Dowson's 3rd. He's got Pirovano. Dowson wants to be in this one too. A man who's been looking to his reputation in Japan this year, and very much wanting to keep it together. It's less than a third of a second over the 3 of them, and Pirovano's coming up to this battle too. Goddard into the lead from Phyllis from Dowson. Yamaha leads 2 Kawasaki's through the southern loop. 4th gear, third gear here now. Goddard trying to run away.
Whoa, bit of a slide there by Goddard. Goddard's running Dunlop tyres compared to the other guys on Michelin, so that's probably why he's sliding around a little bit.
Dowson takes Phillip. And under brakes. He had it teetering there, didn't he?
Just tipped it in.
It got to the stage, though, where he wondered if he was going to be able to finish his braking before he had to tip it in.
Like he was going to do a repeat of Robbie in the last race.
Delicate adjustment got that one, and how precise was Goddard there, too?
Yeah.
Almost over the white line, yet still on the track.
Looks like it might be a good race, isn't it?
Oh, they're glued to him, aren't they? They're determined. Just when Phillip says, I'm going to do well in this one, two locals come up and say, so are we.
Yeah.
Pirovano.
Dowson's all over him, really, but we'll see if he can just hang with him.
And indeed, if Pirovano doesn't win this one, Raymond Roche can finish worse than 10th and still win the title. So the way it is at the moment, Roche is looking very comfortable. Oh dearie me, they don't get any closer than that. As into the lead goes Dowson, with him goes Phillip. Three abreast as they go down the end of the straight here. Goddard comes again, but Dowson leads him. Lap 4 started now. 22 laps this one.
Goddard's got him back again.
This is a beauty. I really did think it might happen. It's one of those things where I suppose you sort out problems in practice, and in some ways, this morning's race was a bit of a practice, and I think everybody's got their bikes pretty right, and now Dowson's got him. It's one of the ones where you have to go back and watch the tape to work out how many times the lead and all the placings change. Phillip is third. Pirovano, who certainly is in this battle too, is in fourth, although he hasn't featured in a major placing yet.
While they're swapping the lead like this, they're slowing each other up, and that'll help Pirovano get into the action and make for even better racing. Well, get out wide, Steph.
Stefan Mertens in 5th place on 2. 6th place behind him on 3 is Raymond Roche, so he's well in place for the World Championship. And behind him is Terry Romer on 7 and Daryl Beattie on 20. And 16 is Mal Campbell behind Beattie. Ooh, that's a risky one. And we've already have a faster lap than in the previous race. Fastest lap in that race, set on lap 3, was Pirovano at 39.54. We've had a 39.50 on that lap, and that's been set by, well, a mixture of riders, really, because they've changed the lead through the race. I don't think the one who started the lap was the one who finished it across the line, so the time wouldn't apply to one specific rider. Dowson, Goddard, Phillip. 10:37.11. Pirovano on 4. Wonderful stuff on a wonderful flowing racetrack. And McDoohan, would you agree if I said that Australian superbike riders, the machinery, the way they're sorted and the way they're ridden, the equal pretty much of any in the world?
Yeah, I think so. Like these guys here, they're all riding factory-supported bikes. Like Peter's bike was shipped out from Japan, and both Robbie's and Michael's bike all these 3 bikes here are actually built by the factory, so sure they're going to be competitive, but these guys also ride them hard out here in Australia, and like they've got also the home track advantage, so they're doing a great job.
Look at the way Goddard had that thing flowing.
He's riding within about 3 millimetres of track everywhere.
But the way he was forcing it out wide, it was just sliding everything, wasn't it?
But, like he's running different tyres, so maybe the front tyre's really good, and the rear tyre, he reckons they're okay, but he seems to be doing a bit of sliding.
Can we believe this as they battle for the lead there, that Phillip and Mertens, Pirovano, falling away from this bunch? Dowson and Goddard going away on their own.
Dowson's hard to beat when he puts his head down, and looks like it here. He wants to prove a point, but also Peter won't want to let him get away. But Dowson seems to be smoking.
There's 1.05 of a second over the 4 of them, and that includes what in comparative terms is a fairly big gap between 2nd and 3rd place. Goddard haunts down Pirovano haunting and chasing Phyllis. Further back, on 16, 5th place is Mal Campbell, 6th place is 2, and that's Mertens. 7th place is 3, Raymond Roche. Being forced further back, 25 is Scott Doohan.
Dowson ran wide just before, and both of Robbie and Peter Goddard got underneath him.
Right. And we've lost Darryl Beattie, 20. He's off the lap chart. He might have come unstuck, wheel weights and all. So, Goddard, Phyllis now, Dowson, and then Pirovano. Mal Campbell, up in 5th place fairly early. So, with them on their 6th lap now, still plenty of time for these 4. Ooh. I don't know if he was just sitting up and changing line there, or whether the bike started to move.
Yeah, I think it did start to slide a bit. Look at the thing just leaving a big black line.
Yeah. Glorious. It's doing it to good effect because he's moved away to a little bit of a lead now, Peter Goddard. It's 0.8 of a second.
Yeah.
And it wasn't much more than that covered the 4 of them a little while ago. Phyllis trying to get back. Dowson
made a mistake. I think that's what gave Peter the edge at the moment. Because they were that far in front of the next bunch. And there's been another fastest lap done. They're going quicker all the time.
39.45, in fact, equals the lap record. It was 39.47 Mal Campbell. Phyllis chopped 200ths off it.
Mal Campbell's just done that one.
39.45. And Mal Campbell's equalled his lap record. So back there in 5th place is where the fastest lap's being done.
I think he'll have a hard job catching these guys over.
And let's hear what did happen to Darryl Beattie. Over to Patrick Lindsay.
Thanks, Will. Darryl, what happened? You're out much earlier than you hoped for.
Yeah, we've had a few problems in the warm-up lap before the race. We had a slipping clutch, and I decided to start the race. Maybe we could get some heat into the clutch and it'd be all right. But it just got worse and worse as it went on, and it was better to pull in than keep dropping back through the field.
Well, good luck in Japan for the next season, eh?
Okay, thank you.
Back to you, Will.
Goddard doing the job now as they come out of Lukey, and still so close to getting away. But Dowson, Phyllis at least, grimly hanging on to him and still within Cooey and getting closer. And almost back with him. And dropping off Dowson and Pirovano. So it's about a third of a second over the leading pair, and Phyllis is well and truly with him now. Dowson being threatened by Pirovano back in 4th place. And Dowson back to 4th place. Pirovano is up to 3rd. He's got to gain every possible point he can if he's to stay in the World Superbike chase with New Zealand still remaining.
So it's going to turn into a good race by the look of it.
Yes.
These two guys.
Yep. And Dowson not quite back.
Yep.
And Goddard under threat as well. So Pirovano still 4th. That's Mal Campbell. 5th. Look at the break he's made. Doing the fastest lap of the race so far. Yeah. Just out of picture to the right. We'll see him in a moment. There he is. That's Mal Campbell. He'll get into this battle, I reckon.
He's still doing 39, so...
He's going to have a very busy, hot time trying to get to them, isn't he? It's going to take a few laps, but it's gutsy stuff.
There's still a few laps to go, so...
Oh, yeah, plenty of laps to go. They're on lap 8. It's a 22-lapper. Up over the top to Lukey Heights.
It'd be good to see Malcolm put in a good showing here, actually. He has some good rides overseas.
And Raymond Roche is up to 6th place. He's the next bike behind Campbell. He's ahead now of Stefan Mertens as this battle for the lead continues. 25, Scott Doohan's in 8th place. Reimer is behind him. He's in bike 7 and in 9th. And in 10th place and 14 is Aaron Slack. So some great performances here and great racing.
Robbie's going to get him here.
Yep. I think he'll lurk through.
Whoa.
That's what I said about Goddard being hard to overtake.
I don't think he was past him.
No, he wasn't past him, but I think Goddard was prepared to tip in and almost close to Robbie's bike.
Also, Peter had the better line there too. He's on the outside. He's just got to wait for Robbie to shut down and just go back around the outside of him.
Round over in the pits with former Grand Prix rider Rob McElnay is Patrick Lindsay.
Rob, what happened there?
Well, we had some problems in the first race, and we thought we got the bike working pretty good for the second one, and I just got into about fifth or something, and the throttle cable snapped. You know, things that don't really happen, but it just seemed to be one of those weekends, and everything's happening to us. So, you know, it's next week.
It's a fantastic circuit. You were just saying how great it is for close racing here.
Yeah, nobody can really get away. Peter got a jump in the last race and did break away, but normally it's such a flowing, fast circuit that nobody can break away, and it's usually very good racing.
Hope to see you back next season.
Bob McElnay running in the team Loctite Yamaha, came 13th in the first heat, bike 19 he was on, same team as Terry Reimer. Goddard, though, that glorious deep burble from the four-stroke before into one exhaust system. And the gap second to third's about 0.8 of a second between those two battling bunches.
Robbie will have a go at the end of the straight here, I'm sure.
Yeah. Great the way he's got back into it. Still his teammate, or Kawasaki co-rider, and he's in the lead now. He's back in...
Then Peter will try again here.
Oh. Back in fourth place.
Got him again.
Is in. He will tip it into corners from astonishingly tight entries sometimes. So Goddard leads again. And Phyllis discovering you have to be very, very determined, not just to get in front of Goddard, but to stay in front of him.
Yeah. I think he got past him a little early on the straight.
Yes.
Peter got in his draft and then drafted him back.
Right. Okay. This four, look at Mal Campbell, good on you. Telecom 008 Honda. And in behind them, I think Raymond Roche and Scott Doohan's up in 7th place. Nick, he's coming on the boil too. Everybody is, aren't they?
Yeah, he said he had a little bit of trouble with his bike, so he played with the rear suspension and tried a different tyre, so hopefully it'll be a bit better suited for him.
Campbell, well within Cooey now. Is that when it gets a fraction easier to catch them and you can actually see them?
I guess so, but to him they'd still look a long way in front. Yeah.
I bet they do.
To us, he doesn't look that far. But he's definitely in there with the chance for third. Anyway, I think to realistically say he'd catch Phyllis and Goddard would be a little bit hard.
Yeah, I think that's a fair comment. That's a much, much bigger task, isn't it? But who knows?
Yeah.
Still, lap 10, less than half race distance. And there he is, 5th place Campbell.
He's still doing the fastest laps out there.
Then it's Scott Doohan next. He's ahead of Raymond Roche and ahead of Stefan Mertens there in quite a bunch. Reimer's in a trio as well, so there's two very good battles behind these five. And they're both in groups of 3, immediately behind. So the spectators here, of whom there are about something like 12,000, I'm told, are having a fine time, and that there was no real encouragement as Dowson, not quite, comes up the third, doesn't quite. There's no real encouragement for them to leave Melbourne this morning. It was a very bleak-looking day, and it's been bleak here. We can now see bits of blue sky. It certainly won't rain. And look at this, Mick.
Yeah.
The second pair got away from Campbell and got up towards the leaders again.
Yeah, it'd be good if it closes up.
Mel's job's become a bigger one suddenly.
Yeah. But he's only like, looks like, just roughly, it looks like he's about 2.5 seconds behind these guys, like behind Dowson. The way he's going, he could quite easily be with him shortly.
Oh, yes. I reckon that's what Mal Campbell reckons too.
Just doesn't mind sliding this thing.
No. It's funny because he's such a quiet guy, although he was absolutely jubilant for Peter at the end of the first heat. Seldom see somebody any more happy with their performance or the result.
Yeah. But, he rode well. He deserved it.
Dawson got to third then briefly. It's 1.6 back from 4th to 5th place Campbell. The pair behind these were absolutely abreast as they came down the straight at 250. And Goddard and Phyllis, there's nothing to separate the two of them. They're still almost abreast, third and fourth. Fifth place is getting up with them as well. The leading pair, as you can see, have split away a little bit. Phyllis for the lead, but not quite. In fact, the camera angle there was deceptive.
Noel Campbell just put in the fastest lap of the race again.
39.39 is a new lap record.
Pulled nearly 9/10 back on Pirovano.
Good stuff, great stuff. Australian Superbike champion this year had a wretched time at Eastern Creek.
Yeah.
The first crash in the Australian Series this year, 6 rounds, one in each state, and Mal had 2 of them at Eastern Creek. One fairly spectacular one down a reverse camber runoff area. So he's now closer, Campbell on 16, to third and fourth than they are to the leading.
Third and fourth seem to have dropped off a bit from these guys again. Maybe that was Dowson and Pirovano swapping the lead.
Yeah,
The third.
Mal's closed the lead to the leaders, although I think he's closed that less than the pair have come back to him.
We'll see if he's still rattling off them times. It's quite impressive how hard he's going, like consistently. Yamaha seems to turn really well. He just kind of tips it in.
Campbell is now right with Pirovano, but Dawson, who leads that trio now, is in third place, but he's lost quite a lot of ground to Phyllis, who is leading, and Goddard, who's back in the lead. It was about 2.36 seconds from the bunch. There you saw the battle for third place, a 3-way battle.
It looks pretty definite that Noel Campbell's going to pass these guys. I think if not this lap, or the next lap,
Yes.
and then he'll try and. I think there's a few laps to go. He'll be pushing to get up there. He's just gone past Pirovano.
Fourth place.
There's 10 laps to go, so there's every chance he can get there. He's just gone past Dowson. He's going for it. But no, it'd be good if he could get up there.
Now, I agreed with you, but I now start to ask the question. He could get the battle of the lead pair, damn nearly.
Yeah, like with 10 laps to go, there's every chance if he keeps doing these times. Like he's taking a half a second out of them all the time almost.
What a hero, Mal Campbell on 16, fifth place across the start-finishing line, now third, less than half a lap later, and chasing the leading pair, followed by Scott Doohan, who's on 25 and is in 6th place. Raymond Roach is 7th, Mertens on 2 is 8th, Terry Romer on 7 is 9th. This man is leading, and he's a hard man to toss. He's led more of this race than anybody else. But the argument is far from over. It has almost come down. I mean, it will depend, obviously, but it could end up with a slipstreaming run onto the straight for the final time.
He got a little bit of a break on that lap.
Campbell 2.51, so if anything's probably lost a little bit there.
Pulled 3/10 on that one. Mel done the fastest lap again.
Yes.
Like another lap record, which is quite good.
39.37, Mal Campbell.
And he had done that through traffic, so that's not too bad.
He's 38 years old. I mean, it really is enormous credit. I don't think there's any reflexes reason why you can't do it at that age, but when you've got to lay it on the line like you do have to do in bikes, then I think, as we see Scott Doohan here and Raymond Roche, the man who's heading towards the World Championship, I reckon you'd be pretty proud of older brother.
Yeah, he's doing well. He's doing real well. He's having a bit of fun here with Raymond Roche, and he seems to be settling in quite good.
He's a big solid bloke, Mick. He's bigger than you.
Yeah, but I don't think that worries him too much. You know, like he's probably 10 kilo heavier than me, but the bike still handles it, and he probably forces it around a bit more than what I probably could.
What weight and height is he? Do you remember?
I'm not sure. He's 70 odd, 74 kilo or something. Man, I'm not sure how tall he is. He's taller than me also.
Yes. And Stefan Mertens there, the man who has the protest in against Fabrizio Pirovano, is back there on 2. I don't know what good the protest will do him if one bike touching another and sending one down.
Yeah, I don't think
that's a bit too often to take much notice.
I think that's just racing, you know, so I don't think he can do anything about that. It's just a bit unfortunate. I'm sure Pirovano didn't intentionally mean to run into him either. So
they had a big Barney, allegedly close to fisticuffs, certainly very heated out the back of the pits. Phyllis leads Goddard. I bet he doesn't like the exit of the corner. Perhaps he will this time.
Goddard's holding it tight. See what I mean? It turns, I think. He just
does, doesn't it?
put it in there. He's got him again.
How did he ride round him there
Yeah,
on that?
see the way he held it tight there, though. You know, it's amazing how tight that thing turns.
And of course, this is all pushing Pirovano down in the point score too. So his job is a big one. Stay up in the World Championship. He's 55 points behind Raymond Roche at the moment. There's 40 points available after this meeting. So he has to finish 15 points better to keep it still open. Phyllis got him then, for very obvious reasons, but Goddard strikes back very quickly.
I think Peter tried to hold it too tight and get on the gas there.
Campbell, Dowson, Pirovano in 5th place. Pirovano. So that's 11 points. Raymond Roche is back in 7th place. He's 9 points. There's only 4 points different. He'd go into New Zealand on the current situation 47 points in arrears with only 40 points on offer.
Dowson's not letting go of Campbell too easily either.
No, he's not, is he? Mal hasn't got away from him. Could it be slowing Mal up, literally, to have bikes behind him?
Yeah,
And
it could be the
drafting?
drag. He seems to have got a little bit of a break here, but Pirovano's dropping back a little bit now. I think he's just decided that these guys are going to have their own little Australian championship here and go for it.
Mal has made progress. He's made about a second place at the moment. Peter Goddard, it's 1.45 seconds. Call it 1.5.
That's not so bad, is it? You know, like he's just done the fastest lap again.
Yes,
another lap record.
39.30.
So he's made half a second on him.
That's incredible stuff. Literally every lap to
Yeah.
keep going faster and faster, isn't it?
He's determined. Well, lap 16 now, so we've got 6 laps to go. And it could, if he keeps doing this sort of stuff, six half a seconds, 3 seconds.
As a racer, you must admire somebody who keeps pressing on that hard, don't you?
That's good.
He's 12 years older than you, Nick, which is nearly 50%.
Yeah. 13, I think, is. Oh, no, I'm not sure. But I think he's only 34 in New
He is, that's what they all say.
Yeah.
As you say, Dowson determined to stay with him, not quite on his hammer, but not letting him get away. He's very much getting pulled forward, seemingly, with Campbell towards the leading pair. And they've all said to Pirovano, second in the World Championships. Go and play your own games.
Yeah.
We're busy here, as you say, with the Australian Championship.
But,
Great stuff.
No, these guys are riding good. But none of the Europeans can hang on to him just yet.
Phyllis, Goddard, Campbell, Dowson. And the first of the locals, Pirovano. And over the 4 of them, 2.4 seconds. Phyllis 11, Goddard 37, Kawasaki versus Yamaha. Campbell, Honda 16.
He still nearly pulled half a second on him then, so he's still doing it.
Dowson on 10 for Kawasaki, and 6 laps remain of this thrilling race from Phillip Island. The last heat of 2 in the second last round of this World Superbike Championship in its 3rd year.
Goddard's trying from the inside. Yeah.
Got him. It's a place there where the logical entry to what is not an evenly radiused corner seems to leave the gate open unless you ride defensively. Is that right?
Yeah, well, you ride defensively and then you slow everyone else up. But you can also gauge off where they're braking, just leave it a little bit later and just try and tip it in. You know, like that's one of the spots besides the straight you can really only pass here. And as you've seen in the Grand Prix, everyone was passing there or the main straight. As I've seen.
I was going to say, Michael, where weren't they passing? It wasn't exactly, you know, anybody.
Yeah. Look, Malcolm's right on these guys now.
That's amazing, impressive, gutsy stuff from Malcolm Campbell from Tasmania. Good stuff.
This is going to be a fast lap too, I'm sure.
Like true racers, he doesn't know how to give up. Like we saw in the Grand Prix and like we're seeing here. 0.65 of a second over the 3 of them.
Goddard's just done the fastest lap record.
39.23. Lap record keeps coming down. Mind you, there are
Campbell 9.25, so there's not much.
I was going to say, they're only chiselling it. I mean, they've broken the lap record about 6 times, and yet it's only come down 0.2 of a second. It shows how hard you have to go to get anything out of it, doesn't it?
That puts the tyre theory of Goddard's out the window if he's still reeling off times like that.
Yeah.
He's going for it.
Yamaha, Kawasaki, Honda now with Malcolm Campbell right in the fight.
Phillips almost lost a second on that lap. 8/10 he lost on that last lap. It's unbelievable.
Yes, a 40.02, that's right. It is 8/10 minus 100th that he lost to Goddard. A lot of time.
So, I bet you he won't be easing up again if he gets a break.
They had a wonderful stooge game between the two of them here, Phillips and Campbell.
Yeah.
At the Superbike race at the Grand Prix. Robbie did the job there. Got him on the run to the finishing line, but you saw in our opener, Robbie coming unstuck, trying to do exactly the same thing and break away from the bunch at the Superbike race a year earlier.
Oh, yeah. This is going to be a perfect finish.
4 laps now remain. They've done 18.
Malcolm's
Hasn't got in there yet.
He's right with him now. So.
Mick, although they're doing 240 odd and more than 200 through there, of course, when you look at each other, it's all slow, isn't it? Because you're all moving at the same speed.
Yeah, that's right. You don't really realise how fast you're going at all until you make a mistake, and then it's like, well, we're going too fast, you know.
Let them start to do the work, and you say, gee, this is quick.
Yeah, that's not quite what you say, but yeah.
What's the quickest speed you've been off, Nick, do you reckon?
I'm not really sure, you know. I'd have to think that was a good move.
Oh, that was wonderful.
I'd say probably at Suzuka when I ran out of brakes, I'd say close to 260k or more. You know, so
really?
160 mile an hour.
Thank you.
You don't think about much except trying to stop at that speed.
Is that why the limbs go out? Are you trying to sort of stop yourself moving and pull up?
I think it's just basically they're just going out.
You've got no options, have you?
But, no, this is good now.
So it's Goddard, Phillips and Campbell, 3 Australians from Wilton, New South Wales, from Albury on the New South Wales-Victorian border, and from Tasmania, from Launceston. It's Malcolm Campbell, and they're sensational in this World Superbike Championship at Phillip Island. Campbell didn't quite get the Honda in there. The best a Honda's been so far is in 3rd place. Mertens, who would have given them the best Honda result, brought down in the last lap or so of the previous race, but local Malcolm Campbell out to rescue the situation in this sensational finale. 0.4 of a second over the 3 of them, and they come down to the braking area now for the 3rd last time on lap 20. You got time to glance? Do you dare glance at a pit board when you come past a pack like that?
Yeah, I think you do.
You do.
But
you're looking for help, saying somebody else help me, tell me something nice. Campbell second, I thought. Goddard, no. Campbell looking for it.
Try here on the brakes.
Yes, under brakes.
No, he's not close enough down here.
Got Phillips. They're good mates, of course, Phillips and Campbell.
Yeah, I think all these guys are pretty good mates.
Yeah.
But
Goddard got in there. Phillips got it, though. Yeah. Goddard nosed in and couldn't make any good of it. Campbell sacrificed it. Said, I'll go for line and stay in 3rd. Look for it somewhere else. And he'd be starting to look for it here with Phillips making a break on Goddard. Gee, it's hard, though. In fact, it would be easier for Campbell to get one if they were slightly separated, wouldn't it? And if the two in front were hot on each other.
I'm not really sure. I think like them being so close this time down the straight, I think it might benefit Campbell. I think he might go straight past these
the draft of the two of them, yeah. Okay.
So if you can get a good run onto the straight here.
And Phillips will want to drop them all off.
Yeah.
Goddard didn't do it well and hasn't helped Campbell.
Phillips is good onto the straight here.
0.4 of a second again. Phillips Kawasaki, Goddard Yamaha, Campbell Honda still 3rd. 39.23.
2 laps to go.
And we've
just got Phyllis back.
completed
around
20.
the outside.
Campbell's the third one of that group. Goddard's the leader. Phyllis is in the sandwich. Goddard gets out well.
The times are slowing up a bit now, whether that's they're holding each other back a little or... Robbie's lap was still like...
Yeah, 39.6.
Australian Championship race, this one, couldn't it?
Yeah, it could, yeah. Have we got new visitors here?
Yeah.
We've got lots of them. They found it hard to get into the top 10 qualifying, and they found it hard to get into the glamour situation here. But Raymond Roche, of course, back in 7th place still, is running a cagey race, and a more than adequate one, to clinch the World Championship and become the World Superbike champion. None of these blokes could give a damn about the championship. They want to win this one at Phillip Island. 22 laps, and they're coming round to complete lap 21. They do it now, and they're on to their final. It's 4.45 kilometres. Phyllis versus Goddard versus Campbell. Now it's on for young and old as Goddard into the lead. And when we talk of young and old, we're talking of an age span of 26 to 38 here. It's the youngest leading, it's the oldest. In fact, they're in age order at this stage, from youngest to oldest.
Yeah.
So over Lukey Heights, it always looks possible, but it's pretty hard. Honda's a bigger chance, but Goddard's got a big break, a relatively big break. Phyllis very nearly got in there.
The last corner, Malcolm's pretty good on this last corner, so we just see whether he'll put in a
Here
big,
it comes.
Big effort. Not this corner, the one coming over the last straight. Because it's possible to pass before the start-finish, and he's in there with the chance. He just got to... turn on though. I'm sure it is.
Goddard's starting to look good. Up over Lukey Heights. Phyllis, nobody can do anything there. And Campbell hanging back a bit, trying to punch it out hard and cleanly and get onto them. He's got a big task now if he's to come through.
Yeah, but he's a bit hard, I think.
Too far back. Can't get hot, he can't get with them. So it's Phyllis versus Goddard. Suddenly Campbell's with Phyllis though, but he's still got a massive task. They come onto the straight though. Phyllis gets up with him, and he's got it. And they went across the finishing line, 1 length apart.
Yeah.
Robbie Phyllis won the heat. Goddard was second, and Campbell only a length back in 3rd place. A length between the 3 of them. And Robbie Phyllis somehow, Mick Doohan, did it.
That was good, wasn't it?
Wasn't it brilliant? And blow me down, here's 4th place, number 4. We'd nearly forgotten Fabrizio Pirovano now out of the World Championship chase. He will be 2nd in the World Championship. Scott Doohan comes into 5th place on 25. 6th place goes Aaron Slight on 14.
Well, Roche has just won the World Championship.
And Raymond Roche. His pit crew there say, we, Ducati, Raymond, are world champions. Ducati.
But Robbie will be pretty happy with himself. He's, he deserves the win one, I tell you.
Well, he does. It's sheer guts, isn't it? You know, the dreadful disappointment of that. Fastest in the morning warm-up. Not so quick during qualifying because he had problems to sort out then. And I really do love and admire the sheer guts and racer in people like Robbie Phyllis and Mal Campbell and Peter Goddard.
It was an unbelievable effort by Mal Campbell to come from where he did.
Yeah.
Like, where was he on the grid? Way down there. And
let's have a look at this finish again. You just won't believe it. You'll never see a closer finish than this. A set of bike length, watch it.
Pete's trying to push him away.
Yeah, look, over to the pit wall. Look at Campbell coming on them. Have a look at it. They're all headed for the pit counter. And will you ever see a car or bike race closer than that? You won't. It was wonderful stuff. So, over in the pits, probably nearly unable to speak, Patrick Lindsay.
Yes. We have Marco Lucanelli. Marco, you must be delighted that Raymond Roche is the world champion.
Yeah, I went world champion rider in 81, and this 9 year I wait for another one. I'm so happy because it's Italian bike and not Japanese bike. This is my pleasure.
And you know how he feels. You know how it feels too, eh? You know how he feels now.
I'm happy for Raymond Roche because it's long time work for win world champion, and now it's too old, but he win.
Congratulations to you. What about that, Will? He's really very much overcome there.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it's actually good for Ducati to win a world championship, you know, like, as he said, a non-Japanese brand to get up there and win a championship with the Japanese contest is something else.
Well, what a lot of people probably don't realise is that Ducati is owned by Cagiva.
Yeah.
So the firm that we've seen battling in the 500 Grand Prix World Championships with Randy Momola is now world champion in Superbikes. There's Terry Roma pushing back 7. But Raymond Roche,
So
he was
he'd
a
be
privateer Honda runner in Grand Prix for a while. When I say privateer, on lesser Hondas, and he will be delighted.
He rode with Rothman's Honda one year, or one or two,
That's
I'm not
right.
quite sure,
Yeah.
but he's definitely been around, ridden virtually every make of bike was been around, and from 500s to superbikes to whatever else. But
He's done a lot of endurance racing too, been successful in 24-hour races and been world endurance champion, I think.
guy's definitely got a load of experience behind him.
He has, and it's a good result, as you say. Deep down in their hearts, although Kawasaki, Yamaha, Honda, all of which were in this World Superbike Championship, as you see Mal Campbell, the malevolent Mal, look at him, arms spread apart, threatening, and the new world champion Roche.
You see the Michelin guys happy too. Michelin just won another world championship.
Yes, gosh, haven't they won some. Marco Lucanelli was the 500cc world champion in that one of the few, along with Wayne Gardner and Franco Uncini, who haven't been Americans since about 1978. Lucanelli, look at him. His face is awash.
Yeah.
Good on you, Marco. Who knows what language they're speaking between French, Italian and jubilation. He wants to kiss him, he wants to hug him, and Raymond's delighted. He's not a hunchback, that's a pad that some of the people, and Denisi in particular, have on the back of their leathers, isn't it? To, I think, a little bit of streamlining, isn't it, when you tuck down behind the...
So they say, you know. I'm not sure whether it'll actually work or not, but I'm not quite sure.
So Roche is the new World Superbike champion, replacing the American Fred Merkel, who won it in 1988 and 89. He was injured a vertebrae in practice for the Suzuka 8-hour in July back in Japan, and has had bad luck and problems since. And Marco Lucanelli's got no problem now, except he can't find a tissue.
Yeah. He's been leading the championship since early on in the series this year. And although Fred was close to him, I still think he would have had a hard time beating Raymond.
Fair comment. I mean, the Ducati has been the bike to beat, hasn't it?
Yeah, they've got it together this year. Like last year and in '88, it was, as you said before, long in the wheelbase and made it a little bit hard to steer. But now they've shortened the thing up a little bit and changed a few things, and the thing's running well and it steers well. So
yeah. Well, there's a man who's done tens of thousands of kilometres practicing, qualifying and racing motorbikes. Still loves it, and still good enough to be world champion. And it's great stuff. And on the day, while we're looking at the world champion, let's work out the winner for the day, who is Peter Goddard on 37 points. From Pirovano on 28. Mal Campbell equal third on the day on 26 points with Michael Dowson. Doohan, fifth on the day, with 18 equal with Raymond Roche, with the new world champion. But let's have a look at the race result firstly. Phyllis, who in missing out by crashing in the first leg, has had all the vengeance that he wants by that thrilling victory, and so hard fought, over Peter Goddard for Yamaha, Mal Campbell for Honda, Michael Dowson, the backup Kawasaki, and Fabrizio Pirovano for Yamaha into 5th place and into 2nd place in the World Championship. And at the end of this heat, Robbie Phillips, and he can go down in the dumps as he did when he crashed in the first one, but he can get on top too when things work well. Peter Goddard beside him and Mal Campbell there. 3 local heroes who put in some superb racing for us. Wonderful stuff.
Well, Malcolm looks a little bit disappointed probably about where he started, I'd say. I think he knows that had he started from the same position as these guys, things might have been different, but, you know,
yes. Another good comment, and let's get over now to the presentation to Patrick Lindsay.
Robbie, I told you if we put the mockers on you in the first race, you come good in the second race.
Yeah, good on you. No, I'm wrapped, mate. That's my first World Championship win. And it was a bloody good race too to top it off. I didn't know if I was going to get there. It's just the eye, you know, and it was bloody good. The last lap, I didn't know Wally was there. I heard this noise. I looked around and there he was right on our backside. So I had to keep my head down because I thought he was going to pass both of us. And I'm just so happy that I've won. You know, like it's broken the ice, I guess. Yeah.
Well, you got so close before too, didn't you? Up in Malaysia, you were very close twice up there, and you did put a lot of pressure on yourself today, didn't you? You really wanted to do so well.
I'm bagging it in the first race. I was a real empty head for that. You know, it's no one's fault but my own. And I don't know, like, I'm just happy the boys from Kawasaki have done a neat job again, and the guys from Michelin are giving me good tyres, and the old engine's going pretty good because it's got motor oil in it. So thanks a lot for everyone for helping us. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now for the official presentation.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I think you'll all agree we've just seen a really fantastic race, leg 2 of round 12 of the Diesel Jeans World Superbike Championship. Firstly, to introduce the riders. 3rd place today, came from way back, broke the lap record several times, Malcolm Campbell from Tasmania. Riding Telecom Honda, of course. 2nd place today, won the opening leg, just beaten, right on the line, Peter Goddard from Sydney, New South Wales. And standing on top of the podium for the very first time in over 3 years of World Superbike Championship racing, Team Shinetsu Kawasaki from Albury, Rob Phillips.
Thanks.
Rob. Okay. Now, to make the presentation, I'd like to introduce the General Manager of Operations for the Transport Accident Commission, Mr. John Stanway.
Thank you very much. Well, another fantastic All-Australian finish for another fantastic international event at Phillip Island. We've been associated, as you know, with the If You Drink Then Drive You're a Bloody Idiot campaign, which all the riders here have accepted fantastically. So really I'd just like to say a great effort by all the riders here today, and I think we should get on and make the presentations. So for the third place, I'd like to give it to Mel. Congratulations. 2nd place, Peter Goddard. Peter. And 1st place, the best place.
Are they stuck on?
2. Right done, Robbie. Don't drop it. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, John.
What are these for?
And now representing the Diesel Jeans Company and presenting the Ryco Emporio trophies is Ryco.
You like girls bring up internationally?
Take your hat off.
Bring out lame guys.
Good on the Aussies! Okay, we can bring it right through there.
You champion?
Yeah. Champion, huh?
Good on you, matey.
Win!
Yeah, let's win! Yay!
And just in case you hadn't guessed, today the winner of the 1990 Diesel Jeans World Superbike Championship, all the way from France and riding the Ducati, Raymond Roche.
Come on. How do you feel, Raymond, after?
Oh, yeah, I am happy, very happy, so happy. I'm sorry for the show because today is very important to finish the race, and I can beat on I can be front. You understand? And sorry for the show.
Good on you, mate. Good one, mate.
But it's not easy to be front.
Now, Michael. All right. Good girls out. Out for six.
And now, sorry, to present the sponsors trophy representing Diesel Jeans for round 12 of the World Superbike Championship, Ryko of Ryko Emporium.
Ladies and gentlemen, Robbie, congratulations,
Thanks, mate.
Terrific
Thanks a
ride.
lot.
I was with
Thank
you all
you.
the way. Terrific, mate. Fantastic. All the best.
Great going, guys.
I'm sure you'd all like to hear a few words from Rob Phillis. He's not usually short of a word.
Make it short.
Robbie, 3 years and you finally cracked it here today. It was a fantastic race. How do you feel?
Well, how do I look? I know it's not too good. When I look in the mirror, it's not too good, but I feel bloody good, I can tell you. I've been waiting a long time. I'm just really happy, you know, like, it's quite a trick for me. And I'd like to thank... What's that, what? Marco wants to say something. Luke and Ellie wants our Australian women. Yeah, later. I'd just like to thank Kawasaki once again, Michelin, Motul, Kushtani and Shoei Helmets and ASICS. Thanks a lot. And also the Road Transport Commission. Thank you.
Before you go, Robbie, you've been doing the whole circuit this year. You've been away overseas for a number of months. We haven't seen you racing much in Australia. How have you found it travelling around this year?
Mate, I want to go back next year. It's such a good time. All these guys are just really good to be with. They're all partiers and we all have a good time. We get serious when we've got to and we have a good time when we don't, you know. So I just want to do it again next year and hopefully I can be the world champion.
Robbie thought that Campbell and Goddard were mates, but they're not, as you can see. And it's on here for young and old, as hard as it was in the race. What a beauty, an absolute beauty, and nobody enjoys his wins more or gets more forlorn about defeat and mistakes in himself, is more critical of himself than Robbie Phillis. It really is a thrill to see him come up after all this time to win a round of the World Superbike Championship, or a leg, we should say a leg, because the round was won, as we said, by Peter Goddard on 37 points, from Fabrizio Pirovano on 28. He was second overall on the day. Equal third, Mal Campbell and Michael Dowson. Equal fifth, Scott Doohan and Raymond Roche. And in the World Championship points, it is Roche, the world champion, by a margin of some 50 points. 362 to Pirovano on 312. There they are. Stefan Mertens is on 290. Obviously, things can change next weekend in New Zealand, but not in terms of changing position between first and second. 40 points on offer, so Mertens can still challenge Pirovano. McElnay is on 202 in fourth place, retired from that second heat today. And Fred Merkel, 5 points back, but in fifth place, the deposed world champion. So, Michael Doohan, pretty good stuff, eh?
It was, you know, I can feel for Peter Goddard, like losing right at the end there, leading so much, but yes, it's really good for Robbie to win. I'm ecstatic for him. It's just great.
You lost the race at Phillip Island here, where? One lap from the end?
I think it was 3 laps or 2 laps, I'm not really sure. But
they started to clear away.
You know, the same sort of thing, you know, you're leading for a long time and then somebody pips you, you know. You're still happy you've had a good race, but, you know, he'd be a little bit
It hasn't been
disappointed.
perfect.
No. But it's good that Robbie, he hadn't had a win all year and he comes home and wins. It's great.
2 more important motorcycle meetings coming up in Australia in the near future. The Arrow Cup at Oran Park, Eastern Creek in 2 weeks' time. There's $60,000 up for grabs there, and it'll be racing back here at Phillip Island on 8th, 9th of December, a 6-hour race plus 250cc Grand Prix and production bikes. I hope you've enjoyed being with us here on SBS this afternoon. We've thoroughly enjoyed having you, Michael Doohan. Thanks for joining us, because I'm sure you enjoy your breaks from racing, and in a sense, the last thing you need is more racing and to be watching.
Yeah, no, it's good. I've enjoyed being here and hope I can do it again sometime.
Thank you very much for coming. We've very much learnt from much of what Michael's had to tell us. Third this year in the 500cc World Championship on an equal machinery with Wayne Gardner next year, and having a very serious, very full tilt at the 500cc World Championship. Thanks for joining us for the second last round, the World Superbike Championship at Phillip Island here on SBS. Good afternoon.